Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it. He's on the outside line, though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now, though, for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome. It is Stephen Karabelis on the mic, joined by Dean Hopton, otherwise known as Biggles. We are here for Radical Simracing, and we're going to be here at Zandvoort for the foreseeable future. We're going to have 10 minutes qualifying coming up soon, and a 30-minute race for your entertainment in the Radical SR8 Championships. It's going to consist of 10 races. In this section, we're going to have separated the European and American Championships in the SR8. And yeah, it's going to be an entertaining race, I believe. We've got a lot of drivers ready and raring to go, all out there practicing as we stand, putting in some good times. And yeah, it should be a fantastic race. Zandvoort's tricky track. And new to the F1 calendar as well. Just came back to the F1 calendar, but obviously lots of racing been happening here in the past as well. Got a number of corners. I don't know exactly how many. I believe it's... what is that, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15 corners or so, including the very famous banked Hugenholz and very fast sectors in Skylark and Masters as well. And it's a tricky track to overtake, and these cars are a menace as well. They can be very rear happy, slippy. They don't have a great deal of downforce. They do have some though, and they are rapid as well, quicker than GT3 cars, I believe. We should be up for a good time tonight. Evening though, Dean. It's a pleasure to be commentating with you once more.
We're going to have a good time tonight. Exactly. Sounds like one of those songs, doesn't it? But we will certainly be having a great time here in the coast of the Netherlands. And this track, once again, it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. You just explained it before. I am Dean Hopton, and you are Mr. Steve Cabera, I guess? I'm going to really...
Karabelis. It's a difficult one, yeah. It's a bit of a mouthful, but of Greek origin. But I am from the UK, and yeah. My first time commentating here. I'm looking forward to it. Should be
for sure. We've casted before in the future for the F1 game, but we haven't. I believe, right? We've casted before.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah.
Been a while now, but not iRacing. Of course, welcome to iRacing, the real sim. Yeah, so nothing wrong with the F1, but it's nowhere near the level of real simulation that's required for this. They are in their practice session, as mentioned, at the moment, getting ready. Only a couple of minutes and change to go for the first qualifying session.
Yeah, and we're going to see some quick times. I don't know if these times are going to be representative of qualifying, but we've got a big split here across the grid. We've got everything from a 34.5 to a 30.1, so big time differences there. And as I've been following these guys racing around in practice, some guys have been out there having a bit of fun already, getting wheel to wheel and having some action in practice, getting used to braking offline and things like that. I'm noticing that these cars are very, very slippy, and the track seems difficult as well. If you get the wheel over the wrong curb and onto the grass or the gravel, it is difficult to save it, but watching these guys, a few of them have been saving them pretty well, I've got to say. The other thing about this SR8 car that I do know as well is that if you hold the brake and the accelerator at the same time as you're spinning, it pretty much rights itself because of the way the brakes work on the car. So it can be easy to save, but lots of gravel traps here that cause major problems. It's one of those old school circuits that don't let you go off them, not like the new Tilka ones that have got run off for days.
More of a beach, isn't it? I think it's the runoff areas, you just said, because you're right on the Dutch coast.
It's right on the coast, yeah. It's I mean, I think it's called Sand Circuit or something like that in English, if you translate Zandvoort. But it's a tricky one. It's what I've enjoyed racing in the past, but it's one of those as well that's fairly difficult to overtake, or at least it is in F1 cars anyway. These cars are obviously very different to an F1 car, so maybe it'll be a little bit easier. We've got a healthy grid here. Looks as though we've got at least 25 drivers.
Yeah, we've got a strength for field just up there. I'll show you that. It's 2.7k. I know you're relatively new to, iRacing, of course, but the strength of field, of course, the average of there, because we've got some drivers out there at the moment, like AKA Adam, the Swedish driver, is a 7.8K, probably the highest I rating on the field. Actually, no, I can see Alfredo there has 8K. Anyway, we'll go through, but that obviously averages all the way down in some of the drivers of about 1K I rating. So that's your strength of field right there, as we are going to get that qualifying underway. And soon you can probably give us a lap guide around the circuit.
Well, do my best. It's been a while since I've driven it myself. Only just got it today on iRacing myself as well. And I am very surprised, to be fair, that we are that the Hugenholtz banking isn't deeper, essentially, as well. So that caught me out a little bit when I was watching people go around. But yeah, it should be interesting to see who we're going to be following on board with for the qualifying. Let's see, Paul de May. So
we'll go, Paul.
Lemay.
And by the way, just to let you know it there, my friend, like just to let everybody know, it was lucky you just got here, of course, because unfortunately you had a little bit of an real motor incident, per se.
Unfortunately, my car has just been written off. My little baby Toyota Yaris, I'm afraid, is no longer with us. Hopefully I can fix it. It doesn't look like the damage is too bad, but yeah, my girlfriend hit a sign post on the way home today. It must have jumped out at her. I'm not sure how she managed to hit a stationary object, but yeah.
That post hit her, mate. The post hit her. It's exactly the same thing in for drivers and motor racing too, of course. When this fence comes out and hits those drivers every once in a while, so be careful about that. Of course.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the guy who put that sign there was thinking, putting it there. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but yeah. We've got Paul de May. He's about to start his first flying lap, and we'll follow on board and see what he can do as he comes around the final corner here. I believe it's Kumho, this one, and a big banking long corner here to get onto the straight, and it's going to be a straight all the way down to Tarzan. Going to be braking just before the 50-meter board, I imagine, and carrying a lot of more speed than you believe you can because of the banking on that corner. But here he goes, and yeah, down 4 gears and gets a late apex, but misses the apex by quite a distance there. You won't be happy with that, but coming down out through the twisty little sector here into Hugenholtz. This is the banked corner that I'm talking about. I expected it to be more what's the word, sharper, the banking here, but through this sector here I believe this is all flat out. Just come around these left rights into Skylark, and then this sector coming around here, take a late apex here, just hitting this curb, this point here, and then these next two corners are very fast, very committed. Oh, he's gotten a very sideways there, hitting the grass on the edge there, and it sent his car sideways, but he saved it brilliantly well, and misses the next apex for the next corner, and now the left hand turn 10. Got to get a good late apex here so you get a good exit down this straight down into Hanshurst, I believe the next corner is called, and yeah, it's a tricky, heavy braking zone, tricky chicane really. We've got to take minimum speed in there, but pick up the throttle late and be patient to get around that left-hander there, and back into Kumho we go. Gain more speed than you think you can carry here, and take a lot of curb on the inside as well, and you've got to avoid that gravel on the outside because that will shoot you off, and it's flat now all the way to the line. Let's see what kind of time he can put in. We've already got a couple of times coming in thick and fast already in the 131s, and for Paul and May, whereas he's in a 132.7, puts himself into P11. Not bad first lap for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, great lap guide there. I'm so used to a Formula 1 car going around here. I'm like, it's taking some time, isn't it, to do this? Of course, 131. And Phil out there, good day. Phil's everywhere. Phil's actually watching one of the other. We have simultaneous racing going, of course. The Porsche Cup Series is being broadcast at the same time. So if you get to enjoy lots of different motor racing, for sure, on the JP YouTube channel. Phil's watching both. That's Phil across the pond. That's in the chat. Anybody else in the chat, pop in and say hello, of course. We don't bite. I don't bite. I bite sometimes. Stephen might bite, but hopefully not today on his debut casting here at JP.
That all depends on whether or not you crash my car like the girlfriend did. Yeah, she might get a munch later on. I'm telling you that. Free. But yeah, it's Kiriak Kyriakopoulos, I think I'm saying that right. Kyriakopoulos in P1 at the moment with a 31.2, but I imagine we're probably going to see much quicker times here. Got 5 minutes remaining of qualifying, and Balciunas and puts on not far behind. I mean, there's only 100th, I believe it is, between Balciunas and Isaacson. Currently takes pole there as well.
Yeah.
With a 1:30.9. I imagine we will see a few 1:30s as people get their second laps in, but they've got 4 laps, 10 minutes, I think, to get their best time in. And obviously, as in any race, you want to be starting up as high up as you can. At the very least, it lets you avoid all of the carnage that will probably be happening behind you if you're on the front row. We've got a guy in the barrier there, and then that's in come hold as well. So, tricky corner to get right. Obviously, you don't want to be doing that in your qualifying session because you will damage your car. I think if you reset, you just repair it immediately in qualifying in iRacing, I believe. But
yes.
It does cost you time because you've got to do another outlap.
And you don't have to drive back to the pit road as well, too. So you can just magically disappear, of course, during the practice and qualifying sessions. Can't do that during the race. You will get a tow back to the pit road, and that means it's going to cost you some time. We have a driver out there called C. I'm not quite sure. This is, Jose Martinez C. That's C's his name on iRacing, so a little tricky on that.
Well, yeah.
We'll see if we can put first and last name initials on there so that we could probably see. That's just going to.
We also have an R as well. I believe that's
JC.
Alfredo Malo. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the way these names work, I guess. And this is the STG timing system that we're using. So, but yeah, not long to go yet. 3 minutes 40 seconds. And we've got another guy. We've got Paul LeMay is actually in the barrier at the moment as well. A number of guys in the pits as well. So a few people are just happy with their times so far. Currently it's a 30.5, 8.5. That's got pole with Adam J. Isaacson. And, it's just been taken there by Rudolf Nagel. Or Nagel? Not sure how to pronounce that.
I think you might be right. There. Oh, and Alfredo has responded with that one, the Portuguese driver. So we got Portugal.
Yeah.
You have the Austrian and then the Swedish driver in the top 3 currently at the moment. This time is still coming in.
Certainly is. That's a pretty good time there from Alfredo. I've got to say as well, he's got 2/10 ahead of everybody else, and the rest of the field looks pretty squashed together. You know, we've got less than half a second separating the top 10 or so, and he's just boshed in a really good lap there. You've got to say. I wonder if anybody's going to be able to beat that. We've got a number of guys out on track still. Isaacson is out there at the moment, and John Mutchinson goes P2 as well with a 30.5. So far, that 30.3 is the one to beat.
Yeah, just taking a look at the moment whether our Italian driver is going to set a lap time on the board. Yes, he did. No, he has yet to set a lap time. This is the car 17. So AR goes even quicker at the top of the timesheets. Our Portuguese driver, I think, and there's Mr. Mike Busson goes into. You can see on the timing table that obviously the name's coming up. I'm just trying to see if anybody else will set a lap time here. We still have a German driver, Alex, yet to set a lap time. Stefan's gone into pit road there from the Belgium driver. So let's have a look at David.
Tim Bertie, our number 1 driver, just got himself up onto the second row of the grid there with P3. Tartari not wanting that kind of thing. We've only got a minute and a half left of qualifying as well, so you're not out on track now. You're not getting another time in, I believe. It's not like this is not like
Alex
F1
into the
qualifying.
Fence, so that's just
that was a big hit as well. Yeah. That's his qualifying done, but thankfully the 100% will repair the car before the race starts. So we're not going to have a Charles Leclerc Monaco situation where he comes in on the formation lap and misses his chance of a win at Monaco. But yeah, it's proving to be interesting. There's some drivers here that I wasn't expecting to see near the top after watching the practice. There's some drivers a bit further down that I expected to be further up as well. In particular, Balciunas. I saw him in practice doing decent 30s laps as well, and he hasn't managed to get a good one in so far. But he's still there in P11. We've got 32 drivers on the grid as well, and 3 of them haven't set laps.
No, they binned it actually, but in those laps you saw a couple of accidents. Now, how's this? Driving under the Swiss flag, as you can see here, Dennis, but you said you were from a Greek descendant, and so there you go.
He's certainly got a
those
Greek surname.
names. Yeah,
Sure,
how do you pronounce that one?
Kyriakopoulos.
I'm glad we got someone here who can get those Greek names correctly, because
I'm just glad I got it right first time, man. Like, it took us a couple of goes earlier.
It's one thing I completely.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest butcher anyway of people's names, so I think everybody's aware of that. But that's why we have other great casters in here to help out, commentators in here to help out with those names, save me. Who's going the pit road? We should have that. I think the qualifying's definitely done, and those results should come up on the screen soon for us to have a look at.
Certainly will. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Alfredo Melo in P1 to start us off, which is great news for him, of course. And on the front row is Adam J. Isaacson alongside.
Yeah, if you'd like to read through that grid for us, please. Should be up on the screen right now.
Certainly. So let me just mess with my screens a little bit. So yeah, we've got Alfredo on P1, Adam Isaacson in P2, Dennis Kyriakopoulos is in P3, Tim Bertie, the number 1 driver, German driver, in P4, John Mutchinson, I should say. It just doesn't come up very well on iRacing, that name, because the British driver, number 5, Nagel in number 6, Buson, number 7, Larson, number 8, Dolza, number 9, Candelas, number 10, and in number 11, the man I mentioned before, Simonas Balciunas, and Paula May, who we followed a lap on board with, at number 12 on the grid. And on at the back half, we've got Gonzaga in P13, Duckworth in P14, Paul Clark in 15, we've got Menno de Graaf in 16, Beren Wiening, that's a hard one to say, but at his home race here in P17, David Walters P18, Mizu Hrazki and Graham Brown, Rolliston, Damien G, Allmark, Behan, Allmark, Jorge C, and Glusish, and Capella, Robertson, Truby, Emmett, Tari, Roggenbuck, and Mellis finishing up the grid. 33 drivers in total, and we're about to get underway for the 30-minute race, and off we go. And it's a good start there from the Dennis Kyriakopoulos. He looks like he's got alongside P1 already, but P1 has managed to get the traction down, and away he goes, and down into Tarzan. He takes the lead, and it looks like it's a clean start for the majority of the grid. But Kyriakopoulos got a fantastic start there, you've got to say. Gets himself up to P2 early doors, but racing up and down the grid as we go through the pack. And yeah, it looks like clean, easy start at the moment. Very little action so far, but side by side, a blue and red car there in the background in Hagenholz, and yeah, all is good so far as we get underway for this 30-minute race.
Oh, that was absolutely quick, isn't it? It caught us almost off guard. Look at the challenge here currently at the moment for P2. Set up the inside. In fact, this could be a double overtake. It has. So what's happened here to Dennis? Just like that, he's dropped a couple of places, maybe even a third one. That's the number 10 machine. So, oh, massive accident.
Oh, there's a big crash in the background there, and there's 3 cars off, and it looks like a couple of people got caught up in an accident there. They're going to be, oh, there's a spin as well, and absolute mayhem at the back there, as people are struggling to avoid the carnage at the back, and it's
oh, there's so many people around here, isn't there? Look at this. It's insane.
Certainly is, and yeah, it's difficult to avoid when so many people get into accidents like that. It's a tough one, but it's like we're going again.
See if we can go back and get replays of that in a minute. Just so much action here, obviously, on lap 1, so we will go. I'll scroll back there and have a look at a little bit what caused that. Just don't want to see more of the action. Otherwise, we'll end up spending more time watching replays than we will with the live action.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't gone very well from Kyriakopoulos after that amazing start where he got up to P2, but he's now down at P6, and there's going to be more battling into Tarzan. We're going to see battling throughout the lap, I believe. Yeah, we've got another accident in Tarzan there as well, so I don't know which cars it is, but they are off into the gravel there. Cannot see personally. I find it very difficult to keep up with what's going on in my iRacing.
Super difficult. Yeah, we'll get that sorted out no doubt in the near future.
But yeah, I mean, as it stands though, McHutchinson has gone into the lead. Alfred Mallow is down into P5 after starting on the pole position. McHutchinson taking big advantage of the some issues there, I believe.
It's another
and,
crash back here
start.
as well too. I think this is Lucas just maybe spinning off.
I believe with this many drivers on the grid, we're
there
probably
it is.
going to see a few, and there he goes, yeah. So, and into the barrier, and it looks like he just lost it on his own there, no contact with anybody.
This was the first accident. This is a Joseph. Now, I think Joseph comes off track and comes back on track. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a tap, and there's another incident I think here. There, oh, just too much on the loud pedal. Not quite sure. And then got a few cars to go through, so that was okay. I think there from Joseph. Further back there was Mike. That had a moment. Here, this is all on lap 1. This is, yeah, you can see a couple of cars going to turn 1. This might be there. Oh, too much power coming out. Massive collision. That's the one you saw.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It looks like,
basically
just one guy loses it in front and not enough time to react for the guys behind. They get caught up in somebody else's mess. Yeah, big mention here so far to David Tartari, the Italian driver that we mentioned in qualifying. He's managed to gain quite a few positions considering he didn't set a time. He's up from P31 up to P15. And another honourable mention for Arturas Kundelis as well. He's gone from P10 to P3 in the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your gains at the moment on the screen in your timing tower. So
Big winners.
Good for your debut here for iRacing for the Radical World Series. This is the European. But look at the damaged rear wing actually, and that is for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might be for. Yeah, this driver right here, Rudolph. Miguel, like we said, look, that car's all dinged up and he's going to be under a massive attack here. Currently running in P12. That's the reason why he's lost 6 of those positions.
Yeah, everybody's got a fast repair here in this series, I believe, as well. So he could get that fixed. He's got quite some damage to the front of his car as well. He probably got caught in one of those accidents where he bumped into somebody. As long as his car's drivable, though, probably don't want to pit just yet. Just to take advantage of slowing the rest of the field down, essentially. He's going to have to race you, going to have to get past you, make it as difficult as he can for those guys. But as it stands at the moment, but P1 and P2 close together, but some big gaps starting to form as we get into the meat of this race. It's proven to be entertaining so far. Big crashes, big incidents all over the field. Yeah. But the guys at the front have all seemed to have gotten away nice and clean. And, but yeah, some big position changes there as well. Our P1 man is down into P5. Now P5 man is down into P1.
And the Dutch driver here currently on board, that's Graf from the Netherlands. His home track, so he grew up in that little sand track. He used to play in that little gravel sand as a kid. I may be making that up, I don't know if he did or not, but it does sound kind of cool if you would. And he's trying to put a little bit of pressure on the back there. That's battle for P9. Yeah. Position. Yeah,
that's Paul Clark in front of him, the orange car. I think he got a fairly good start at the beginning as well. I remember seeing an orange car making some headway in the early stages as well. He's up from P15 to P9, and we've got De Graaf who's up from P16 to P10. Yeah, definitely piling the pressure on now. Getting very close to the rear, but it is difficult to overtake here in Zandvoort. And I mean, with cars like these with very little power, no DRS or any overtaking aids, it's going to prove difficult to get that done. We've got
Joseph Emmett has had a little bit of a moment. Now he's by himself. A 26 machine. I think this is probably just on. Is he going to? Yeah, just a little too much on the brake stop pedal there, and car spins a but keeps it out of the fence.
Yeah, and he's gone around again. There he goes again.
Hot tyres at that point, isn't it? And probably a little bit of a heated driver in the cockpit there for making a little bit of a mistake. But once again, no damage to the car, so it's a long race. To see Barney. To see if Rudolph is still going here with that damaged car, but you can see how much the pack is now bunching up behind him. Going to go back to obviously to Alfredo. That's the Mr. R on here because he's starting to apply that pressure. Look at the different racing lines taken there. Trust in the car.
Yep, I don't know if that's the guy in head. Bertie just getting a wrong line there, or if he's trying to break toe, or if it's Alfredo trying to get things. But side by side they go here now. Down the inside goes Alfredo into turn 9, and he gets ahead before turn 10. He gets moved done nice and clean. That's brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff.
Yep, that's textbook overtake, isn't it? So great job.
Certainly is, and but it didn't seem to fight it too hard, did Kyriakopoulos there. I wonder if he just knew that the guy's just quicker, or didn't expect the move to happen there. I wonder.
Possibly.
But Looks like in these cars there's a number of places you can make moves here, though. Obviously you couldn't in other cars. I understand F1 is pretty much the only place you can make a move in F1 cars down the main straight. And that was between turns 9 and 10, which sometimes would have been suicide in other situations.
Well, that's because you got a little bit of DRS activation there. You don't have it here. Here's the main straightaway. We are seeing once again the Dutch driver as he gets a cheer from the Orange Army. You see him out there on the fence.
Seems to be not going for any aggressive moves, but he's very, very close to the man in front here. Is Graf, and Clark is going to be sweating this, as not sure when this guy's going to make the move, where he's going to make the move. And yeah, he's going to have to keep the eyes on the back of his head wide open there.
Yeah, he's got to get done soon, otherwise we're going to have to switch that camera over to the lead of the race, which we'll do now. Because it was Adam that just put the fastest lap in and got a pretty good... I'm not quite sure if we got a great entrance on that one, or Hutchinson just made a little bit of an error.
He almost sent it up the inside, though. It was an opportune moment to take advantage there, but doesn't seem to get it done. But yeah, it's a tight battle here between these two. And I believe the draft in iRacing is about 1 second or so, so we'll be gaining a time on him, and every lap, as long as he's clean and smooth as well. But looks as though I saw there in front as well, some cars ahead of these guys.
Yeah, they're going to have traffic coming up soon, aren't they? Yeah, exactly.
Certainly are, and that could cause major problems. These guys might not see these guys coming. Hopefully they just get out of the way. It is in the rules of this league, as I was reading through them this afternoon, that you are supposed to just get out of the way of blue flags. Unlike on iRacing's normal rule of do what you like as long as it's safe, you can raise blue flags behind you. You don't have to get out of the way. I believe this series has blue flags as the same as F1.
Yes.
There's a bit of a Scottish flag on the wing there. That,
gentlemen's agreement, as they say, to get out of the way. Don't get James started about those blue flags. Blue in the face about that one. But this battle might be bringing the other drivers into play, P3 and P4. You can see.
That might be the reason why he's not gone for it yet. E6 said he wants to get a gap to the guys behind. We're in past the 10-minute mark, 1/3 of the way through this race. And yeah, he doesn't want to battle too hard with the guy in front if he's quick enough to get away from the guys behind. But that 1 second gap to Kundelis from Isaacson is staying steady. And yeah, it's proving to be exciting stuff there, as Graf's still on the back of Clark as well and able to get that move done. We've also got Alfredo, who's managed to catch up to the back of Kundelis as well, putting pressure on him. And it looks like it's anybody's guess who this podium is going to go, who the podium spaces are going to go to. It's a tough one to call so far. We've got Balciunas, who's dropped a lot of places, currently all over the back of Robinson, but Robinson has a draft from the guy in front of Aski as well, and that is going to prove to make it difficult for him to get a move done as well.
Maybe
but, a bit of a dive there.
Ooh.
Oh, he's sticking his nose where it should not belong. Yeah. That was definitely putting the nose in the vortex of danger. He's got a bit of damage on the front left of his car there, you can see as well. So that may be what's caused Balciunas to drop so far.
Could be an opportunity here for the Dutch driver.
He's going for the inside, and he's going to outbrake him, and yeah, he's done it perfectly there as well. Goes deep, but switchback doesn't seem to be on for Clark, and doesn't look like he's too fussed by that. Well,
battle by that. Of the Derby runners here that are dinged up, and they're going for it tooth and nail. This is a battle for P18, 19 and 20, sorry. And look at this actually now, because of the go back up to this one. Yeah, see that Cadeas, I think it's just starting to build an under second gap there. Of course, he's still got the Alfredo. That's Mr. R. Just tucked up behind him, so they're all very, very bunched up close, as you can see from our race leader of John Carcheston, still leading from the team red line.
Yeah. Going to be some very exciting racing that we've got here. These guys are very closely matched, and the cars, difficult to control as they are, easy to make mistakes with. These guys seem to be very smooth at the front end. Seeing some mistakes obviously early doors in the early stages, as everybody was close together and people were all vying for the same racing line, and a certain person or two made a mistake, and there's very little chance to get out of the way of those mistakes if they're sideways on the track. But looks like we've got a big race heating up here. We've got a big gap down to Bertie, number one car on the grid, but Hutchinson, Scottish driver, currently leading the pack and doing well. He's very smooth at the moment, but Alfredo is really starting to pile the pressure onto Kundelis as well, and maybe that's the reason that Kundelis has caught up a little bit here.
Yeah,
oh, he's got again going for a late dive there, but I thought that was going to. My heart started pumping a bit there. Never mind Kundelis's. I imagine he saw that coming, and big message came up on his screen saying "Code Brown, Code Brown."
I was just about to say,
get away with it.
Yeah. Great commentators think alike. I was just about to say, you answered that. You took the words out of my mouth on that one. I was about to say the old code brown warning.
Get away with it though. He managed to break in time, get himself out of danger. Did Alfredo, Mr. R, and yeah, I wonder whether or not these guys are happy to just start racing now, because the gap behind Bertie 1.7 seconds, and then there's 10-second gap between Kiriakopoulou and Gonzaga. So we've got a bit of a difference here in pace level and skill level from the top 6 to the rest of the grid, or maybe Gonzaga's had an issue or a spin or something like that, causing that gap. But it's proving to be an exciting race so far. I mean, 4 guys here vying for the podium, and any one of them could win the race as well. 16 minutes into remaining of the race, sorry, and lap 9 of I don't know how many we're going to get really. To be honest, we've got some side by side here. Balciunas going around the outside into Hans Hurst, and that is a terrific move from him. You've got to say, not easy to go around the outside into that complex at all, and gets the move done. Brilliant overtake. Oh, he's got a bit. That's going to put him under big pressure now as well, and he gets a bit of a tap there, I think. I'm not sure if I saw that correctly, but there may have been a bit of a tap, but he loses the position out. But you've got to say that maybe that was down to himself, really, because he got onto the gravel on the outside there, defended the inside there against Robertson, but doesn't he do in the end and goes back to the racing line.
I think you're right in that one. Let's have a look at the battle for the lead still again. Ben Brown under pressure. Are you one of those drivers at the moment there as well, too, Stephen? You like to be chased or chasing? Nobody's asked that for.
I like to be chased, to be honest, because doing the chasing, it's always tricky to get the braking points right. You've always got to kind of second guess yourself, brake a little bit earlier than you want to. And with any car with downforce as well, I think these don't have much downforce, but they have got downforce nonetheless. Being in clean air is a big advantage, because you get the air over you, giving you the downforce and the grip that the guys behind don't get. So I always like to be the guy in front. Like, defending is
you're
easier
John
than attacking.
McHutchinson at the moment. That's what he's feeling. He's had to do a great job defending, but how long can he defend against Mr. Sweden? Because Adam Ikeson is really applying some pressure now. This could be perhaps a dummy, or at least definitely a reminder to say I'm here. Not that I don't think Mr. John needs to worry about it too much, because he's got a car full of a radical in his mirrors. The mirror's got a car. You know what I mean. It's bringing everybody into play now. They're all absolutely bunched up, P3 and P4. Wouldn't be surprising.
But the gap to Bertie is still getting bigger as well. So these guys, as long as they don't crash.
No, you can't be applying that casting cursing just yet, my friend, when you did touch it.
But yeah, I mean, so far they've been very quick, very smooth and safe, and these guys know the braking points and things like that. And McHutchinson is doing a great job of defending it, and yeah, taking the inside line every time into turn 1. But it looks like Isaacson has got his number, and he's out braking later than him every time, every corner. He's catching up. But it's one thing to be there; it's another thing to make the overtake. Hutchinson's not going to make it easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to have to be maybe a bit of a send from Isaacson, but they're giving us some great entertainment here. Some brilliant racing, some clean racing so far. Got that little disclaimer in there.
Yeah, there's crash.
Balciunas is dropping positions, and so is Haraski.
This is the reason why I think there's maybe contact here between these drivers. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is. Ooh, that could be a net code. There was contact.
Yeah, it's difficult to see from that angle there, but definitely contact between the drivers, in whether it's net code or a mistake there. But it looked like Balciunas went into the back of him, and yeah, that may be a penalty coming after the race, possibly, but that's not for us to call, really. But yeah, it remains to be seen. The guys are going to be coming into some heavy traffic at some point soon as well, so I imagine that's going to start causing some major problems for these guys in the lead. And I wonder whether or not anybody in this lead pack as well could take advantage of the traffic and get an overtake done while somebody gets slowed up by the guys in front.
I believe so. They got about 12 minutes remaining in this race, as you can see. So desperation is going to start creeping in for these 4 drivers with all of an opportunity. And don't even count out Mr. Tim Birdie as well, too, because if all these, if a couple of these cars come together, then he's easily probably got a podium. Not easily, but a podium will be waiting for him. So it's up to these drivers here, the 4-pack here leading this race, too. Try to take it easy and seize an opportunity if gap car, but don't want to be tangling. Certainly not the first race of the season. You've got a possibility of being a podium or a race win.
We've got Ben Under down in the chat saying, congratulations to all for getting such a big field together. Well done to all involved. And I'll echo that comment. Yeah, it's very rare that you see 33 drivers on Zandvoort. A minute and a half long track. It makes for some excellent racing, and the bigger the grid, the more likely you are to get lots of drivers in contention with each other, because the more drivers there, obviously the more the skill level is going to be matching. More drivers with a matching skill level, I should say.
Yeah, I think David had an off-track excursion too, but I don't want to take my eyes away from this at the moment, because I just have a feeling that something's brewing up for sure.
Yeah, we're going to start getting to the end of this race, and that's when people start to think to themselves, right, it's now or never, I've got to make the send, I've got to make the move. But so far, so good from these guys. They've been very clean and respectful of each other. It helps as well that these cars have got brake lights. You don't see that every time in every racing session.
I wonder if that throws you off as well, too, if you do have to, like, or just ignore
probably
them.
Could use that to your advantage if you just kind of hover your foot over that brake and just give yourself a little 1% brake. That light's going to come on, and you put the willies up the guy behind you, because he's thinking, uh-oh, this guy's braking where I'm not, and maybe he'll brake as well and give you an advantage there. But at the moment, Adam Isaacson is really piling the pressure on to
look at the 2 cars up the road there, actually battling. So at some point they're going to have to lift and allow this pack through. This could be the opportunity that either Adam seizes.
Oh, Isaacson's going
right here,
for it.
I can see, yep.
Well, down the inside, and that is into the final corner there as well. Arie Luyendijk, and he's going to have the inside now into Tarzan as well, and this could be moved up, but Hutchinson's not giving it up easy. He's going to try and hold it around the outside, and he does lose out in the end. Has to tuck in behind. Oh, there's contact! Contact between him and it's Kundelis as well. I don't think Kundelis expected him to come back across so quick. And yeah, I think that's... I mean, I can't judge these incidents, but
we knew that was writing on the wall. We kind of predicted something. We're hoping not. And here we go. Here's a replay. So this is the overtake. Okay, and then what happens here? It turns in a little bit, loses it. There it is. That's a racing incident at that point. He just lost the rear end a little bit, and unfortunately, they both got tangled on that one.
Certainly did. They both get going pretty quick, and they've got gaps, so they're still going to be in there for decent points in the end. And yeah, my iRace has not really caught up with that at all yet.
But ding too on the back of the.
Yeah, it's going to slow these guys down, but that gives Bertie a podium, and Kyriakopoulos is now on the cards for a podium as well. There's a 2-second gap now between Bertie and Alfredo, and but yeah, that's. Not what McCutcheon is. What, after defending so valiantly for so long, one little twitch of his car and a racing incident later, and he's in the barrier. So yeah, Kundelis, I don't think there was a lot either of them could have really done to avoid that. Kundelis was you know, he had very little time to react, but Duckworth now defending from Graf once more. Is it Gonzaga who's defending from Duckworth? It is, in fact. Apologies. Racing up and down the field here. We've got a little 3-way battle here for these guys. And Kundelis are still very close together as well. For what McCutcheon is doing to.
I think he's going to get close back. We'll see about if anybody's going to take this. You can see a little bit of a bent wing at the moment there from Jose. Yeah, this is what I was telling you before about Birdie, didn't I? I said, like, as long as he's not at the same pace, literally, on the per laps than the other drivers, as long as he sits back and... Oh, there's a car off.
Oh.
I think that was David.
Stop for a picnic.
Yeah, he's like, it's too nice on the Dutch coast. Italian driver, loving it here, but that's going to be breaking yourself into the corner. Too much, a loud pedal there.
Yeah, certainly is. Yeah, just heavy right foot. It's unfortunate for him, but having a decent race at some stages throughout, but
I wonder if John can get this job done, because you have to say, good job there from Quindelius to hold him off with the damage on the car. He only has to do it for about 7 minutes of change now, but not quite sure if he can get it done, because you know that John wants his place back and damage limitation, of course, after leading this race.
Yeah, this is race 1 of the championship as well, and it's important to get off to a good start in only a 10 race season. It's important to get good points on the board straight away. It looks as though we've got some early contenders for the championship. Look at the defence here from Quindelius. He's not going to make it easy for the Scotsman behind at all, with the number 69, nice, on the side of his car. And but yeah, I wonder if it was what point as well is Alfredo going to go for the move on P1 as well. It's one of those things where if you're that close and you can smell the victory, how desperate you get, and how
foaming at the mouth
get.
for a bit of the bubbly stuff, you know. It tastes a little bit sweeter when you're on the top step.
It certainly does, yeah. Certainly does.
Go back to Mark John there for a second to see if he can get this job done soon. You have to say, absolutely fantastic defence there. I guess these cars could take a bit of a beating, because you can still see with the visible damage on there that they can still definitely put in some competitive laps around here.
I haven't driven them for a while, but yeah, I do remember that, contact, as long as you weren't sending it into the wall at 100 miles an hour, you can get away with a fair bit of contact. The car is still drivable, but I wonder, because of that damage there on the back left rear wheel on Quindelius there, I wonder whether or not his steering is straight, and whether he's having to compensate, because that's when it starts to really cost time.
This is very unfortunate for G. He's had a bit of a mistake. But we'll have to go back to that, because there is pressure currently on the leader. Well, at least there was for a second. Oh.
Just looking at the inside, but it doesn't look as though he's going to be able to move. It doesn't look as though it's particularly easy to make an overtake at this track at all, even in these cars. Got to really kind of be very brave with the ascend, and taking a very different line, I imagine. And I wonder whether or not it's turns 9 and 10 might be the best place to do so, because you're going to take a very wide line through there, and especially turn 10, and whether or not you can just kind of just send it up the inside there into turn 10. As we've got coming on board here now, we're going round into turn 9 here. You're looking at the inside there, but be very, very late on those brakes, and bend it too hard, and the other guy doesn't see it coming. It doesn't do anybody any favours if they turn in and you kill you. So it's a tricky one to get right, to find margin, but Hutchinson is all over the back of him. He definitely looks quicker. He looks as though he came out of that crash with a lot less damage than Quindelius did. His rear wing seems to be intact, and he's got a very good run now. He's going to go to the outside into Hans Hurst, and is he going to be able to keep this one? If you get the outside, you can hold it there, get the inside for the next one, and it's a done deal. And a beautiful overtake, you've got to say. But now he's got to defend it again. Looks like Quindelius is looking to battle this one back, not taking it lying down. And some more action here for P1 as well, as we have
look at the traffic.
Oh, look at the traffic in front. Yeah, I was about to say that myself.
4 minutes and just under 4 minutes in this one to go, and that could come into play for sure, because drivers are going to have to try to figure out how to get out of the way, left or right. And they're so bunched up. This could get very, very tricky. Now it's going to be up to whether or not the Spanish and Portuguese driver can at least navigate this better or not, or will the Swedish driver of Akesson be a little bit more clever when they move across for those blue flags? But they're not. Look at this, they're not.
He's not moved yet so far, but yeah,
there,
eventually he gets up the inside. And that's not it over though. There's a lot more cars to deal with, and it's going to be tricky to navigate this. Very, very tricky. I think the best thing these guys can do in front is just give up the positions. And they do not want to be the guy that takes out the leading pair of cars at all. I imagine that there would be some angry faces in the Discord chat after, if that were to happen. And there's the guy getting out of the way nicely. But so far so good for Isaacson. He hasn't managed to clear the traffic well enough to not leave a door open for Alfredo. But Alfredo, maybe he was thinking of his own race as well. Let's not do anything too unpredictable here. let's just race on track, just us two kind of thing, and not try and take advantage of any problems that Isaacson had in front. But fantastic racing from everybody concerned there.
And yeah, it's only probably about a lap or two to go.
Yeah, we haven't got white flags just yet.
All this traffic before, mate, just kind of reminds me of Sebring on the weekend in the Inter Series.
Unfortunately, I missed it pretty much as well. Yeah, I pretty much missed all the Sebring 12 hours as well. I wanted to race in it, but I've been having some issues with my racing rig and some problems with the Thrustmaster wheel I have after an update of Windows has caused some issues with force feedback disappearing at random intervals. So
that's why you say never update. That's why I don't like to update stuff unless I'm absolutely forced to update, because sometimes things break. It's unfortunate. I'll have to have to wait for another update to fix that one. It seems like
there are a couple of workarounds in the works and things, but it looks like Alfredo has Jack Isaacson's number here. He looks to be very rapid and is piling the pressure on. He wants this win. He wants that first place. He wants that sweet, sweet champagne. And Isaacson is going to have his work cut out to defend here as well. And he's also not got it all his own way as well, because there's more cars in front that he needs to navigate as well. And yeah, it looks like the best place to make the move is in the final corner into Tarzan as well. And it's going to be an interesting battle. This is going to be down to the wire. And
Did
Alfredo,
you see the white flag? I don't think the white flag's been shown yet.
I don't think it's been shown yet either. So yeah, we're going to have another couple of laps remaining still. Not do or die just yet.
Did you Alfredo see, real quick there, his helmet? That reminds you of somebody. Let's see how good you are in your F1. Who knew a helmet looks like that one, right?
I think that's probably Alonso.
Alonso's helmet, yep, you're absolutely right. So, of course, he is Spaniard, or at least Portuguese Spaniard flag there, so I'd have to say, a bit of an Alonso fan, no doubt. Well, if you want to pull a Fernando Alonso off, my friend, you've got to get an OT and get the win.
Yeah, Alonso would not be afraid to send it at this stage. He would definitely be doing it. But look at the defence here from Isaacson going the inside line and a switchback there. But now has the outside for turn 10. And going to get the inside if he gets a good exit here. But it doesn't look as though it's going to happen. It's great defence there from Isaacson. Absolutely fantastic racing from both parties. But it's not over yet. He's got another couple of chances, another couple of bites at the cherry. And Alfredo Melo R is very, very close to the back of it. Hutchinson is in the voice chat there. I've got it muted on my other screen, but Hutchinson's talking to somebody there. Not sure what's going on there, but decent recovery from him after the accident that he had. But he'll be disappointed that he's not on that podium spot. But fence again coming
checkered
from
flag.
Isaacson. Oh, that is the checkered
He's
flag.
got it.
Oh, so he's got it then. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Oh, that's my bad. I did not see any white flag.
I think all of us off guard in that one.
Certainly did, yeah. But brilliant stuff from Isaacson. Brilliant defence in the end there. That last lap, we caught at least the action on the track at the very least, kind of thing. But great stuff. Very unfortunate for Kundelis and McCutchinson, who were both there or thereabouts, and had a very unfortunate contact as well. But what a fantastic race we've had here in Zandvoort. Lots of action, lots of talking points regarding it as well. And but yeah, Zandvoort proves a difficult track to overtake for those guys in the front. Got some guys doing donuts as well, as Alfredo doing some spins. But early championship lead there for Isaacson then. And a very decent race from him. He goes from P2 to P1, gets a nice clean one. And Alfredo Melo, P1 to P2. Didn't get the greatest start, but got a good finish, and that's what matters in the end. It's not where you start, how you start, it's how you finish.
And keeping it out of the wars, so the remaining drivers that will be making their way to eventually see the checkered flag, which is exactly what you want to be able to see, Barney waving that flag, because it's going to be a season of racing course, and you're not going to win a championship in one race. You're going to win it over a series of races, maximising the most amount of points. You can even win championship season without winning a race. That's happened before many a times, and
certainly has, yeah.
But,
certainly has.
He's done it, hasn't he? Man has held it up, been in the right place at the right time. He's gained one position there to eventually take the race win. And just a little bit unfortunate there for John, isn't it? Like, so he having to hold off for practically everybody for what 90% of the race, and just goes a little bit bell-shaped, as you said, towards the end.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for him, but yeah, so I'm looking down the grid as well. We're seeing some big gainers here as well. We've got Guy Robertson, who started in P28 and ended up in P15, which is a big gain as well. And obviously Arturas Candelas as well, who was involved in that incident with McHutchinson, started P10 on the grid and ends up P5. So even with that incident, he's had a very good race in the end. But P20 from Graham Brown to P12 as well. Big gainers here in Zandvoort. Yeah, it was an exciting race. Fantastic stuff to come. We've got Sebring next time out in this championship on April the 2nd, and that one's going to be a 90-minute race, I believe. And that should be very exciting. I imagine we'll see lots of smoke, action, crashes, and some great racing as well. We saw some great racing here this evening as well. Brilliant move from Adam Isaacson to get that lead in the first place, getting alongside into the final corner into Airy, and getting the move completed down into Tarzan, and then immediately after that, it all went pear-shaped for McHutchinson because of that move. Maybe that was putting people off a little bit, putting McHutchinson off. But fantastic racing from all parties concerned.
Yeah, just wondering why those results aren't showing up for us in a second. We're probably just waiting for another driver to come up, and then it should pop up in a sec. In a second, I said a second ago, didn't I?
It happens.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect.
Yeah, this is my first time broadcasting the Radical series, so you have to bear with me for some of those little mistakes. And of course, well, Stephen covered me being his first time casting for iRacing here for the JPBroadcasting YouTube channel. So thank you for helping me out with that one for sure. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. We have drivers for an interview, so I don't know why those results aren't coming up at the moment. But let's pull in one of the. Have a driver there for a second, waiting for an interview. Don't know what happened there.
I'm sure it'll pop back, but yeah, it's been a fantastic first race for my debut at JPB, and yeah, I'm looking forward to many more to come. Fingers crossed my girlfriend doesn't crash the car before every single one of them, because, you know, I've not really got the money to go to that many cars. But we have got Dennis Kyriakopoulos in the interview waiting room, and
bring him in.
Bring him in and see if we can get some information there.
Dennis.
So Kyriakopoulos,
Welcome. Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic race there. P4 in the end. Started P3. You had a brilliant start, and then things started to go a bit backwards for you in the early stages. Talk us through your race. How did you feel about that finish?
So at the end, the result was really good. I'm quite happy. But it's true, you mentioned the start. It was a brilliant start, but I made a mistake in the first lap with cold tires and the pressure. You know, I was P2. I was not expecting something like that in the first race. I lost a few positions, but I could make some back. So it's a very good result for the team.
Yeah, certainly is. Yeah, and that's race 1 of 10, and it's a decent finish. How do you feel your chances are going to be going forward for the next race? Sebring next. Have you got much practice in this car there?
I've done from the days of Radical, of course, so I don't start from scratch. As you can see, the level is really high in this series. I'm going to give my best to make the best result possible, of course.
Fantastic stuff. And regarding your name as well, Kyriakopoulos, I'm pretty sure, am I getting that right?
You nailed it.
Nailed it. Thank you. My surname's Karabalis, so, you know, we've got something in common there. But you're Swedish, I believe. You're from Sweden, or you're Greek ancestry, or you just live in Sweden? What's going on there?
No, I live in Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, Swiss.
Oh, Swiss. Sorry. That's my bad. I don't have all of the information. So you live in Switzerland?
And Greece is my origin.
We guessed that, didn't we, Stephen? We guessed that one, so okay, we went too far from that, yeah.
It's fairly obvious with a name like Kyriakopoulos, but so, yeah, but visit the homeland often?
Of course, yeah, I'm married with a Greek wife, so of course I'm very often going there.
Good stuff, great stuff.
Well, you and Stephen have something in common, don't you, Stephen, as well, too?
I haven't been in Greece in nearly a decade now, I think.
But the name.
But yeah, the heritage for sure. We'll spare my terrible Greek. We'll spare the stream my terrible Greek, because it's not. I'm definitely not fluent at all. But yeah, fantastic finish though. P4 in the end after P3 in the qualifying. You've got to be very, very pleased with that, and we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening, I suppose.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for
Congratulations.
the interview and the broadcast.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for your time and patience with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got McHutchinson waiting for an interview next as well. It'd be interesting to get him in and talk about that incident. He's already apologised in chat as well, in iRacing chat to people. So
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, let's bring him in. So, John, absolutely fantastic race for 70% of the race, and then one tiny mistake cost you big there. But up until that point, you were doing a brilliant job defending from the guys behind. But Isaacson was really putting the pressure on. He eventually got the move, and that move looked like it maybe it wasn't probably the cause of the incident, but did it put you off a little bit? You had a little bit of a twitch by the looks of things. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I ran wide at the last turn, so I lost a lot of momentum going into the straight, and I knew he was coming close, so I was just a little late on the brakes and put too much heat in the rear tyres. Let them up a little coming out the corner and had to dab the brakes, and you get by him, and then I don't think Arturo's had anywhere to go. So all my fault for that one. So apologies to him. But
Still a decent finish in the end, though.
Yeah, it was a cracking race. I got off to a flying start from P5 to 1 before turn 1. So I really clicked with this car. I've always have done with this car. Yes, I'll take 5th for that, considering the strength of field.
Yeah, it's a very strong field indeed, and the car is definitely a handful. I've raced it a few times before in the past. I haven't raced it around Zandvoort. Trying to get some practice in this week so I can see what was going on for this race, but I've had some issues with my racing rig. But it is a handful, isn't it? This car, it's not easy to drive.
It's tricky to start with, but once you get used to its little quirks, it's a lot of fun. You can push it really hard to the limit, and there's always that little recovery. It's different from the SR10, where it's always the SR10 always seemed on the limit, on the edge. This thing you can just go into the corners and have a blast in it.
Certainly
Just
can.
look
Yeah,
at that replay right now there too, John, on the screen. If you are watching on the channels, as you can see, just side by side contact. I don't know if you can see that to talk us through that real quick. It's in slow mo.
Is that with Isaac? Is that when I lost the lead? No, let's say I just lost a bit of momentum on the straight at the last turn, and he got up the inside of me, and tried to let the rear tyres, and then Arturo had nowhere to go. I don't think. So I have to, like I say, apologise to him for that.
Yeah, I've seen the apology there in the iRacing chat as well. But it's a good start for the season. You managed to recover it well, and still ended up with decent points. It's got Sebring next time round for a 90-minute race. How do you feel about that track?
Well, I've just done 12 hours at Sebring in a GT3, so this will be a piece of cake. No, but this is a heavy little car. The steer's really, really heavy, and it does take it out of you physically. But I'm looking forward to 90 minutes. It's always a different challenge, different mindset to things like that. So it should be good.
Yeah, it's definitely less about getting it sent and things like that kind of thing. And obviously, Sebring is a very bumpy track as well. And I don't believe this Radical likes those bumps very much. I did do some running in the Radical this week in Sebring before I bought Zandvoort. But it doesn't really like those bumps. I mean, that final sunset curve can be very tricky to handle. Any tips for your fellow competitors and me? Or are you keeping your cards close to your chest?
No. Like you say, Sunset's going to be really difficult in this. There's a few bumps that it's been that long since I've raced it in this car, but there is a line through it that's good, but it's all been remodeled, hasn't it? So it could be different. And there was the turn 13, I think it is, that had the dip in it. That was tricky, but that's been fixed a little bit. But like you say, it's the bumps in this car. It doesn't like them. Not the last time I raced, it was an open set, so I could try and tune the bumps out, but it's still a fixed set we're using. Oh no, hold on, it'll be open in a 90-minute race. That's good.
Yeah, that makes things a little bit easier, then, especially for a track as difficult as Sebring in a car like this. I mean, obviously the GT3s are a little easier; they kind of annihilate the bumps, the GT3s. But tell us about your 12-hour race. How did that go?
Yeah, we finished P5, so not too bad. We got a little damage early on, and it took 3 or 4 pit stops for it to get repaired. We lost some time there, but no, we're all happy. We're not GT3 drivers, the 3 of us. We just do the special events, and we just go out and enjoy ourselves. And yeah, it was a good race we had, so happy with P5.
Good stuff. Well, we've got another man to interview next, and we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. And congratulations on a decent finish. I mean, P6 in the end, not to be sniffed at, considering the mistake that happened there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
well
Thanks,
done.
guys. Thanks for the broadcast. Cheers.
Yeah, we've got our race winner in the interview waiting now as well. So congratulations, Adam Isaacson, on winning the inaugural race of the series. Fantastic move there. We'll start with that, I suppose. But an absolutely brilliant move there to get the lead. But it looked as though McCutchinson was saying that he made a mistake. He went a bit wide, and you took advantage.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I knew it would be hard to overtake. So I just kind of sat behind and waited for him to make a mistake. And eventually, after a while, it came, and it went wide there in the last corner. So I took advantage, just about managed to get on the inside, and then I thought I would have to defend after, but yeah, he made a mistake there in turn 1, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, just a tiny little snap and a bit of contact, and him and Kundelis ended up in the barriers. But in the end, you still had to do a lot of defending of your own anyway. It was only 1/10 after 30 minutes of racing. 1/10 separated you and Alfredo behind you. And that very last lap, you had to put out all the stops to defend. The defense into Hans Erst was a joy to behold. But it was he was looking in, putting the pressure on. How much were you sweating it there?
Yeah, it was quite intense. But as I said before, it's very hard to overtake on this track. So essentially, if you defend and just don't make any mistakes, it's almost impossible to overtake. So yeah, I just focused on staying clean. But yeah, it was definitely a tough time.
Yeah, it certainly was. Looked that way from our perspective as well. And you'll have to forgive me because I'm new here and first time commentating on this series as well. But have you raced Alfredo before? How much trust did you have in the guy that he wasn't just going to dive bomb you down the inside or something like that?
Well, I'm quite frankly a rookie here as well. This is my first race ever in this series, and as far as I can remember, I don't think I raced Alfredo before. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A rookie with a 7.8k I rating is not bad.
It's a decent I rating, you've got to say, certainly as well. I mean, I'm wallowing down at 1500 at the moment, trying to get to 2k, but 7.8, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, it's mostly GT3 I've been doing, or yeah, just different kinds of GT cars, and I've been doing it for a while. So
certainly, yeah. I mean, we'll just come back to iRacing after a poor showing with F1. I was racing F1 leagues just for the fun of it, and I had iRacing. It's just something else, though. iRacing, totally different kettle of fish with this sim. It's probably the best on the market, I believe. And obviously, you've been around the block a few times, so rookie to this series, but not a rookie to racing at all. You definitely seem to have the smoothness down. But we've got Sebring next, a 90-minute race. So how are you going to change your approach for a 90-minute race over a 30-minute one?
well, there's a lot of factors to consider, I guess. You have the fuel, the tires, which is something that we'll have to manage. And we, of course, have to make a setup as well. But yeah, I'm sure we'll figure something out. I have experienced teammates, so.
So who's your teammate? Is he racing here as well?
Well, I'm racing with Simracing, so I have Rudy and Luke and all of those guys.
Well, speaking of Rudolf Nagel, he had a lot of damage to his car. Did you hear anything? Were you in VC with him? He was driving the car with a lot of damage, I believe, for most of the race.
Yeah, I think I saw he had a crash on the first lap, unfortunately. Not sure really what happened.
Wonder if he was maybe caught in that big accident that we saw in the early doors.
Right now, actually, on the screen, believe it or not, in slow motion, see a few cars going off the track there. So I think that's where he exactly was involved and nursed that car back into P19 after losing 13 places. But that's your other Sim RC teammate. I believe that's the only other teammate you have on the grid at the moment too, isn't it? Oh no, you do also have Lucas as well too, don't you? The Austrian driver.
Yeah. First race out though, first win. You confident that you can get another win in Sebring?
Well, you can't get complacent, I guess. We still have to keep working, and yeah, I guess we'll see where it brings us.
Get those practice hours in. Certainly. But congratulations once more on the win. It was fully deserved by the looks of things. You raced a very clean race and a very quick race as well. Took the moment very well when it presented itself for the win as well. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Any further questions from you, Dean, or we're good?
No, you absolutely covered it all. Hit the nail on the coffin on that one for sure.
I'll do my best. I do my best. Yeah. Yeah. What else is there to say? I wonder. Going to be back again on April the 2nd. Please, obviously, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content.
Well, we do have just let it know this evening in US time. We do have the Americas of the Radical series starting up. In the same track, same place, same network as well. So make sure you tune into that to see how the others across the pond handle that situation for the Americas themselves, which is more in my time zone. Well, both of these are in my time zone, but that'll be looking forward to that. I think Dan and I will be casting that one later so that we can let you have a bit of a lay down there, Stephen.
Yes, I mean, I've got to go sort out this crashed car.
Yes, you do.
And yeah, give my girlfriend a little bit of a spanking, maybe. See what happens with that. But yeah, lots to deal with this evening for myself. But I will certainly be back, I'm sure, for more commentary with JPB. And looking forward to it. But the schedule is chock-a-block and lots of racing to be had on the channel. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my debut here. As always, fantastic commentating with you, Mr. Biggles, and always a pleasure.
Yep, thank you, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Of course, make sure you hit the bells, like and subscribe. It's restreamed on both channels, of course, so you're welcome to like and subscribe on both channels. Definitely do that. And of course, if you want more Radical Sim Racing, I'm signing up for Radical Sim Racing. It's on the website right there, radicalsimracing.com. And you can find any way you possibly can join that fantastic community. Once again, we got the Americas coming up a little bit later on tonight, so tune into that stream if you're awake, or tune in to watch it again later on when you do wake up. And that's it from myself, Dean and Stephen. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening.